Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to revise current affairs environment for prelims 2021. The first topic is coral reef. Recently, the UNESCO World Heritage Site Committee has recommended Australian Great Barrier Reef to be added in the World Heritage Site list. Why? Because the Great Barrier Reef is in danger. It has reduced to much of the extent. So it needs to be preserved and it needs to be saved. So the Australian government has come up with this initiative to protect it. So what is the main reason is climate change. The Australian government has also come up with the framework called as Reef 2050, which has few plans or ideas which helps in the conservation of Great Barrier Reef. So what is this coral? How it is formed? Coral are a kind of shallow water organisms called as polyps, which are with the help of zooxanthellae, that is an algae, they form up a coral tissues, and the algae helps photosynthesis. The photosynthesis produces food, and the coral gives the protection and compounds which are needed for photosynthesis. That's how they live in symbiotic relationship with each other, and the coral tissues are formed. The algae also helps to remove the coral waste. Okay. Now, what are the ideal conditions for coral growth? They should have a good climatic conditions where there is enough sunlight. That is in subtropical tropical areas, 30-degree north and 30-degree south. Wherever the water is shallow, it grows. It needs little salty water. It does not it does not grow in fresh water and highly saline water. And it also does not grow where there is high level of pollution. So it needs less pollution. Now, what are corals? As I said, it is called microorganisms called as polyps, and they form in colonies. They grow in colonies. That's how the corals are formed. The corals are also called as rainforest of the sea. Now, the types of coral reef. There are 4 types. They are fringing reef, barrier reef, atolls, and patch reefs. The fringing reefs, they grow near the, if you see in this diagram, they grow near the coastal island and they are separated from the shore. They are the most common types of reef which you see. Whenever the water level decreases, the coral reefs are formed like this. They grow near to the shores. That is, let us imagine this is an island, and so the corals will surround like this. If the water level increases little, so the corals will be separated from the coastline and it forms like this. That is barrier reef. The best example is Great Barrier Reef in Australia is the best example for barrier reef. Atoll. When the water level completely rises and the island gets immersed, then this coral reef will be only seen. They are kind of a ring-like structure which we can see. So, and these are the 3 types. The other one is patch reef. It is almost they are small isolated reefs that grow up near the bottom of the island. They usually occur between fringing reef and barrier reef. Now, what are the initiatives taken to protect the coral reef bleaching? What is a coral reef bleaching? What is coral bleaching? Coral bleaching is nothing but, if you see in this diagram, the color has been gone. That is, zooxanthellae is dead. It is not producing the food. So obviously, if it is not producing the food, the corals will also die slowly. So the color which we see, it's because of the algae. So what are the things which are affecting the corals? That is temperature, inorganic nutrients, subaerial exposure, freshwater dilution, And some of the natural events like floods, El Nino, extreme high temperature, low temperature is also one of the reasons. And the anthropogenic impacts are overfishing, overexploitation, increased sedimentation. If you see near the rivers also there is a lot of sedimentation. There also the coral does not live. And when the nutrients are overloading also, it is not. Initiatives to protect the corals is Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network and Global Coral Reef Alliance. And Global Coral Reef R&D has been developed so that to protect they take the initiative to protect the coral reef. And Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change has also taken initiatives to study on how to protect and preserve the coastal zones and coral reef. And it has also come up with the idea called as biorock or mineral astration technology to restore the coral reef. In India, the coral reefs are found near the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, the Gulf of Mannar, Park Bay, etc. Most of them are fringing reefs. The next topic is International Day for Ozone. International Day for Ozone. So 16th September has been observed as an International Day for Ozone. Why this day is observed? So that people are getting awareness about the protection and preservation of ozone layer. So the theme of this year is 2020 is ozone for life. Right? Now, what are the steps to preserve? So there are a few things which are necessary in our daily life which we see, which are helpful for the preservation of ozone. Those are you have to regularly get your electrical appliances serviced, discard the old ones. They emit more ozone depleting substances, and it should be careful in disposing of electrical appliances, and especially the air conditioners. It should be properly recovered and recycled. You should opt for Energy Star labels while purchasing the appliances. If you see in fridge, we are getting nowadays 4-star and 5-star. So we should see the which is more, and accordingly we should purchase. We should avoid traveling by personal cars so that pollution is reduced. If you opt for public transport or if you do carpooling, cycling, or bike walking, whatever is possible, so it will reduce the pollution. And you should follow the proper gas refueling and oils. We should avoid oil spill where it is in water or any other place. Nowadays, often we see oil spills in the oceans, so we should try to avoid those. We ensure proper turning off all the automobiles when it is not in use. We should use environment friendly paints, and we should avoid using cosmetics, hairsprays, room fresheners, all those products. And we should also avoid chemical fertilizers which are harmful, green gases which release green gases. Now for those things, there are international level. There was two conventions, which is Vienna Convention and Montreal Protocol, which were for the protection of ozone layer. The Vienna Convention for the protection was adopted by 28 countries on March 22, 1985, which led to the Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol is on depleting substances, ozone depleting substances. Whereas the Vienna Convention is for to protect the ozone layer. The Montreal Protocol was made in 1987. Sorry. The ozone depleting substances are halocarbons and halogen atoms. Halogens and there are also few methyl bromide, methyl chloroform, carbon tetrachloride. All these are All these are very harmful for the ozone, and hydrofluorochloroquine is also one of them. So it is very important to protect and preserve the ozone layer. So we should do all the necessary things which is in our hand, which we can do. Try our best to preserve the environment because it is protecting us. Thank you.